We're on? Oh, good morning, good afternoon. This is so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for joining us on this program. Our studio has been down for several weeks, and we are returning, and we are jubilant because it's a wonderful time when we get the studio back and running again. And today I'm going to talk about my tarot book, and I have 4 chapters in front of me of the Queens of the Tarot. And I have the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. And they are such fascinating women because they are characters in the tarot. They were painted by Pamela Coleman Smith. And so we have pieces of art created by an extremely talented and wonderful person. And so we have that, but we also have the person. We have the Queen. And when I think of the Queen of Cups or the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Swords or Pentacles or whatever, I think about the John and Janine Maurer Saturday, Sunday flea market in Woodstock, because it's going right now, which means that it's on Saturday and Sunday if we don't have rain. And people come all day long to get their cards read. And so often a queen shows up. The queen is you. The queen is your mother, it's someone you know, it's someone you work for, it's whatever. But it is so much a part of our days. And I have 4 chapters in my book about the queens. And the first one I would like to talk about is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is such a delightful person. She is so beautiful, and her beauty is inner, and she's an extremely spiritual woman. And the Queen of Cups, she is Venus. She's Venus, she's Aphrodite. She is a beauty that has transcended time. So she is so beautiful. And she's holding a beautiful chalice which offers her spiritual wealth. She's the only one that has this beautiful chalice. And she has angels around her which provide value to the chalice. And it's a closed chalice, so it has a lid on it, which means that it's a spiritual experience. And she sits on a beautiful throne, and she has her toes are in the water. She has children around her, which is the fountain of youth, and she has fish. And because fish emphasize wealth and happiness. And the colored stones at her feet have to do with just accepting what lies ahead. So it's a wonderful, when I think of the Queen of Cups, I just think of just a beautiful, beautiful person. And she has this talent. The Queen of Cups makes things sound right, so that she's not brusque and she doesn't upset people. She has wonderful communication skills. And she is selfless. She's not a selfish person. She's full of generosity. And when I think of the people coming to the flea market, I have to think of the people in the town who also come to the flea market. Not only the tourists, but Susan Saxman walks through the flea market every Saturday morning and every Sunday morning with her dog Ghost. She and Ghost walk through the flea market before she goes to work. And she goes to work as a psychic. And she sits down with people in her shop and she talks to them and she introduces them to their dearly departed relatives. And it's a wonderful experience. And Fiona is probably Woodstock's most famous psychic because we do have a lot of people. For a while, we had Jogger John until he was killed in a bicycle wreck. But Jogger John was a very good psychic, and a lot of locals went to Jogger John. I went to Jogger John. But Susan Saxman sits in her shop, Fiona, with Ghost, her darling dog, and smiling, Fiona greets her guests for a reading. Clients are always excited because they've waited weeks or months for their appointment, and they may have traveled hours or days to come and spend one appointment time with her. I came to know Fiona through her visits because she came on the show several times, and you can go to YouTube and you can get the past shows and bring them up. But people schedule an appointment with Susan to get questions answered. They want to hear from departed relatives, sharing love from lifetime to lifetime, and because they want closure. I had someone come to me a couple of years ago who had lost his wife, and what he was really looking for was closure. And that's where you get it, is with Susan Saxman. And when she speaks to her clients, Susan does not make things up. Her wisdom is for real. She explains the forces at work in her clients' lives that may be beyond all understanding. She's comfortable talking to her clients about their departed relatives, and she knows that nothing changes when people die. She knows that death doesn't suddenly turn people into angels, and they don't suddenly experience enlightenment. Fiona's wisdom says this: you will figure out the answers to your questions in death if you haven't found the answers in life. So for me, that's very comforting. Because if I have a question and I don't know the answer, and I'm struggling for the answer, why is this happening? What is going on? How can I deal with this? In death, if I haven't come up with the answer, in death I will come up with the answer. So that's wonderful. Death never settles a situation. Working out your questions and answers takes more than one lifetime. And life and death and rebirth are needed to find some answers. So to me, that's very comforting. Fiona sees an interconnectedness in our life, our past lives and everyone else's lives. Now for me, this is definitely the Queen of Cups. There she is with her philosophy, with her interconnectedness, and being able to connect with people. That's the Queen of Cups. So Fiona faces this interconnectedness in all lives, your past lives and everyone else's lives. And you see your past life experiences and relationships mixed in with the karma of those around you. And this is more obvious with young children who still remember life's events. You bring your interests and fears with you from past lives. You bring love with you from lifetime to lifetime. And Fiona sees the past, the present, all happening at the same time. Everyone sees a soulmate. Now this was very, very interesting because I talked to Fiona, and we did discuss this during one of the programs here, but we talked about a soulmate. And she says we all have a soulmate. And sometimes when you finally find your soulmate, it's not a good match. You have timing, you have age, you have sex, you have gender. All of these things can be unmatched. So Fiona says that you may only see your soulmate for just a short time because it's just not a good match. So how did Woodstock find Fiona? How did she end up in Fiona? The Queen of Cups end up in Woodstock. Woodstock called out to her, just as it has to spiritual types for a long time. Woodstock energy reaches out from the ethers and touches everyone somehow. We're all attracted to this energy. Astrologers, healers, mystics, monks, Buddhists, Christians, Jews, Sufis, and pagans, all alike, and a whole bunch of others that I haven't even listed. There is a wisdom in the connectedness and in the connected lives and in the deaths. The wisdom isn't found in the problems, and it's not found in their connections. It's what we do with the problem. And that's so important, because when you write a memoir, it isn't the problem, it's what you did with it. So I think that's very important. So all of the things that we have to learn are around us. And when you consult with Fiona, you speak for your past lives and for your future. Relatives from these past lives are happy to come to the reading, and they remember. They are willing to guide you through whatever is coming. So that's a beautiful thing about Fiona, and talks a little bit about the reading. And you can reach her if you try to reach her on the net. You can go to Susan Fiona Saxman. And you know, she has, when you tap into her energy, there are some rituals that go there with her. And one of them is just to take time for yourself. So many people, especially in today's market, do not have time for themselves. So it's very, very important. And also, allow yourself to be attracted to the beauty in this earth. Get attracted to a sunrise, a sunset, communing with the forest. We live in the Hudson Valley. It's the most beautiful forest in the whole world. That is the one thing that is very, very true. So we are here, and whatever area you're in, if you come across a forest, enjoy it. The green, the golden of the fall, the spring, enjoy it. And take care of your body. Take care of yourself. So these are some rituals that the energy of the Queen of Cups brings. And there is a meditation that goes with the Queen of Cups. So if you have a chance to sit down quietly and listen to this meditation, here it is. And if it will be put on YouTube in the future, and it will be coming out in my book in the future. But if you go to YouTube, you can find this in the future, this meditation. Go to your favorite place now and sit in your most comfortable position. Go with the most reliable healing music and essential oil or incense, whatever works for you, whatever you know is going to work. Turn on your Himalaya healing lamp if you've got one. Check that the temperature is the most comfortable level for you. And follow your breath now as you inhale healing energy and exhale toxins. So you're going to inhale healing energy, grounding energy. You're not going to force this breathing. You're not going to control this breathing. It's going to come naturally. This is a natural healing energy that comes in and out of your body naturally. And as you breathe in, your mind and your body and your soul relax. You release stress and tension with each breath, and toxins. We are overrun with toxins. And meditation is wonderful for that, the exhale. As the stress, tension, and negativity leave your body, it is replaced by a positive, calm energy. And each in-breath is grounding. You become more aware of your energy and of your healing capability. And use the next minute or two feeling and experiencing the positive and healing power of your breath. And become aware now of your own ability to manifest love, health, and grace in your life, within yourself and around yourself on a daily basis. This is the Queen of Cups, manifesting love, health, grace in one's life within yourself and around yourself on a daily basis. When you feel this happening, realize that you are living the energy of the Queen of Cups. You understand as an experience that this awareness, it is no longer necessary for you to think about what others think about you. Just don't worry about outside influences. Don't worry about somebody approving you or not approving of you. That's not important. You understand that now it is time for you to follow your own path, because the four queens follow their path. And if you follow the lives of these four queens, these are four entirely different people, but they are all following their own path. They're doing what is right. So you do what is right for you and for within yourself. And this realization is going to free you from the past. It's going to allow you to live in the present moment, and with love and unlimited potential to love yourself and others. I'm going to repeat that again. Free yourself from the past and allow yourself to live in this present moment, this moment now, with love and unlimited potential to love yourself and others. And throw out your negative thoughts and all negativity in a general way. Just take negativity and pitch it, throw it in the trash. Without the negativity in your life, you're able to experience joy and positivity in your life and in yourself. So that's what this meditation is all about. Throwing away your negative thoughts and all negativity in general way. Without this negativity, I am able to experience joy and positivity in myself and in my life. I now sit with this realization that as I take in, as I breathe in and release my breath, this awareness allows me to experience complete relaxation. Sitting quietly with yourself, taking all of the outward expectations and getting rid of them for the moment, and taking what you have to offer, and just taking in, breathing in and breathing out your breath. This will allow you to experience complete relaxation. Complete relaxation is a jewel. There is not a diamond in the world that is as valuable as complete relaxation. This is something that money cannot buy you. This is something that only you can do through your inner self and through being aware of the experience, being aware of the relaxation, and being aware with the relaxation being with you on all levels. And this relaxation at this level is healing. You connect with your inner power, and this meditation will allow you to use this relaxation for the good of yourself and your fellow man. So now you have had a quiet experience with the Queen of Cups. She's so beautiful, Venus, beautiful inside, beautiful outside, A wonderful, wonderful card in the tarot. Now I'm going to switch gears, because each queen is a switching gears, a different gear, different speed, different everything. I'm going to go to the Queen of Swords, because that's another Woodstock experience. The Queen of Swords is a very interesting woman, because for one thing, this woman has been around the block, and she has known sorrow, and she has known challenge. So that when you feel like you need to converse with the Queen of Swords, and you go to your tarot deck and you get the Queen of Swords and you look at that card, you realize that whatever your path, this woman has been there. The Queen of Swords is the only one that when you see her card, you see her to the side. You see a side view of her. And that's almost as if she's in a coin, really. And an interesting thing about the Queen of Swords, she has bracelets. And I see the bracelets in the flea market every Saturday. I see people wearing the bracelets. People come to my table wearing the bracelets. And these are the Queen of Swords. These are her bracelets. These are the ones that have the little semi-precious beads that people like to collect on their wrists. So it's really interesting. The Queen of Swords also she's got clouds around her. And the clouds stand for her thoughts. This woman has been around the block a few times. She has had to come to terms with some of the things in life that aged her and gave her a finish and a positive demeanor that you wouldn't find in a younger person. I'm not going to say that it's sorrow, but it is definitely there. She's walked the walk. This woman, if you ever find yourself in a spread and she's there, this is somebody that you can talk to. This is somebody that you can feel that she understands your path. And she's honest. She's going to talk to you honestly, and she's going to tell you things the way they are. She's not going to sugarcoat things. But at the same time, she has authority, and she has lived life's lessons, and she knows how to overcome the hurdles of youth. So she's got the creds. If you want to go to somebody, if you want to get some strength from somebody, go to the Queen of Swords, because this lady's got it. And it's a wonderful thing, because you know when this woman walks in the room, she's got the cred. So I'm going to go back to the Mowers Market now. Fiona, the Queen of Cups, comes to the Mowers Market every Saturday and every Sunday before and after her appointments. It's so delightful to see her and to see Shadow, and all the people love to see Shadow. They all want Shadow to let Shadow come to them so that they can give her a hug. It's just a wonderful thing. But now the Queen of Swords came to the flea market last year. She's not here this year. She was here last year. And I've had a booth at the Mowers Meadow Flea Market for a long time, but it started out as a fundraising project for a local food pantry. And after several years, I began reading tarot cards and selling books. Sometimes I don't get the books out, but there's a jar there that you can donate money to. But I was using, truthfully, only about 30% of the space. And I felt like I could add a healing table to the whole thing. So what I did was, I didn't think I could offer Reiki and the used books. So I put out a call for a Reiki practitioner to be a guest in the booth. And the flea market has not had a Reiki practitioner for a long time. So this was going to be a whole new ball game from the flea market all over again. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to find somebody every week. But the first week I went to Susan, and I called her up and I said, listen, will you come to me and put out your table and let's see what happens. I'm looking for a Reiki practitioner. And it wasn't going to cost her anything. All she had to do was bring her table and come join. So she showed up. And you got to remember, this is not a young woman. Susan is not a young woman. She has a full-time job in Kingston. She has raised a child on her own. She still has this job. She's not ready to retire. But when she is, she wants to be a full-time Reiki practitioner. And let me talk about the cred. This woman's got it. When you say Reiki master, teacher, she's everything. And I'm a Reiki master teacher too, but I mean, it just reeks with her. She's living this Reiki. It's a wonderful thing. So I expected, okay, maybe she'll make it through the day, whatever, I don't know. So she arrived at the booth early one Saturday morning, and she came with a business table, she came with business cards, she had a tiny display table, and a chair. And I showed her the booth. I said, listen, you put your do whatever you want. This is the space, do whatever you want. So she set out her tiny table right at the edge where the people walk, and she put her chair there. She put her table back in the back in the shade, and she sat there. And she connected to every person that came. And when she had set the table up, she came to me and she said, okay, I'm ready now. I'm going to look for my tribe. I'm looking to offer Reiki, and I'm looking for my tribe. So I said, fine. I mean, I had no idea. Listen, this woman was not joking around. She did not take a lunch break. She did not take a coffee break. She placed her chair right up front. She spoke to all of the people. And usually she would get maybe 1 or 2 sessions on the day. But at the end of the first day, she said, okay, I'll be back here tomorrow. So I said, fine. And she came every day. And at the end of the season, Susan had collected clients. There is a difference between giving somebody Reiki that you just saw in the flea market and giving somebody a Reiki session that you just saw in the flea market and making them a client. When the session was over, they all said, I'm going to contact you. Can I have your card? I want more sessions. This was an amazing thing. I saw this unfold this whole summer. She just, if I were to give Reiki sessions to people, I would give Reiki sessions to people. It's a dramatic thing to give a Reiki session to a person. Sometimes they cry. Sometimes they have vision. I mean, they do all kinds of. Reiki is an amazing modality. But she got them to cross that bridge, which was truly a wonderful thing. So she carried the energy with her. She was the Queen of Swords every day at the flea market. And not only was she the Queen of Swords, but I'll tell you what, she carried the Fool energy. we read in tarot that the Fool goes from card to card to card to card. Well, with her, the Fool went to the Queen of Swords. And it was a really remarkable and truly beautiful experience. And I am completely grateful to Susan for having come. And then, of course, at the end of the year, she said, I'm completely exhausted. I'm not going to come back. I saw her again in Kosaki. They have a wellness day in Kosaki in the fall. And I called her up and I said, listen, you need to go to this one. And she said, I'm awfully sorry. I just don't know if I can do it. I said, okay. But she did show up. And there she was again with her table and the little chair and the healing table and building her client base. It was just an amazing thing to see. So there are some rituals that go with this, that go with the Queen of Swords. One is getting a regenerating sleep. You know, sleep can become such a challenging thing, but if you can build a bedtime routine, you can do it. And meditation is also a sanctuary for the Queen of Swords, and keeping yourself hydrated. You know, she could never have done it if it hadn't been for the water. It was just an amazing thing. So there is a meditation that we have for Susan. And it's designed to bring good health to yourself, to bring good health to those around you, to bring good health to the planet. Maybe we could all say this meditation every day and enjoy it wherever you can, daily even. So I'm hoping that you can find this program on YouTube and go with this meditation. It's a short one, but it is to bring health to the planet and to you. It starts with you and then builds out. Go to a safe and quiet space. I always start all the meditations with this. Most of the meditations say lay down, get comfortable, whatever. Before that, you've got to go to some place where you are going to feel comfortable, where you are going to feel like you're there and you're not going to be disturbed if you can help it. And in some environments, that is almost impossible. And I have lived and worked in environments where there just simply is no quiet. There is nobody that's going to stop knocking on your door for 20 minutes. I mean, I've been there. And so has this Queen of Swords. I mean, so try to go to a quiet and safe place. Sit or lie down in a relaxed and comfortable position. Close your eyes and begin abdominal breathing. Breathe slowly and deeply. Each breath will bring more and more relaxation. Your in-breaths clean and heal your body and your soul, and the exhales release toxins. Let your breath become smooth and even as you breathe in love and healing through your solar plexus. Send this energy softly and smoothly into your legs and into your arms. Fill up your left and right legs and your left and right arms, and also your hands and feet. Now, with your breathing, nourish and heal the cells in your body. Take your breath and bring it into the cellular level. Send healing to your body, to your neck, to your head, to your arms, your legs, your hand, your feet. Experience the decent areas of your body as they heal and become perfect. As you experience this healing, touch the different parts of your body and feel how they feel when they become perfect. is the sound of your body in this state of health and perfection? How does your body sound? What does your body smell like when it's healthy? And how does your mouth taste when it's healthy? Take a moment to enjoy this unique and special gratitude that you experience in good health. Just in good health. Hold out your hands and hold out your feet and let it flow through you. And notice that it flows around you. And share this feeling as you send blessings of health to every living thing on the planet. Hold out your hands and your arms and send out the health to the whole planet. And now, know that it is time for this meditation to come to an end. And realize that you can do this meditation every day. It doesn't take a half an hour. It's not a super long meditation. It is a short meditation which does carry an impact throughout the planet. I think we're going to have time for one more queen. So I am going to go with the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, I tell people the Queen of Wands can do a day's worth of work by 10 o'clock in the morning. She's got the energy. She has a pet cat that sits with her, a black cat that sits with her. And she has a yellow robe. And she's got red shoes. And she has a pin on her robe of a cat. She has a red cat pin. And she has, in the background, pyramids, which show that forces, energy does peak up for her. And she is not, the Queen of Wands is not afraid. The Queen of Wands is a doer, and she is generous. She has a very generous spirit, and she can get things done. She's adventurous, and she's open to new ideas. When I think of the Queen of Wands, I think of my grandmother. I think of my grandmother, Lily Dale Cox Thurman. She was a Texas pioneer, and she was born into a Methodist missionary family whose longtime goal was to have a church in New Mexico. And at that time, New Mexico was not yet a state, it was a territory, and it was in the sticks. This was in the mid-1870s. New Mexico was really the wild, wild west then. It wouldn't even be a state until 1912. In the late 1800s, there was much romance attached to the wild, wild west into Mexico. Billy the Kid, Pat Garrett, John Chisholm were famous in that area and time. In addition to Methodists, the area attracted opportunists, soldiers, outlaws, merchants, indigenous peoples, visionaries, and former slaves. By the time I came along in the 1940s, the family members were all Episcopalians. I don't know how that happened, but I'm supposing much of it depended upon available churches in the Texas frontier communities of the Edward Plateau in the area, Brackettville and Rock Springs. From early in our country's history, the land called Texas was popular. Explorers from 6 different governments had ruled the area by the time Lily Dale Cox rose to the area at the age of 10 in her family's covered wagon. These governments didn't include any of the numerous indigenous tribes who ruled the land called Texas and for thousands of years before even the Spaniards discovered it. So when we say 6 governments, we're talking about German and French and English, and Texas was a government. But we're not talking about the Kickapoos and the Navajos and the different tribes like that came through. When Lily Dale Cox arrived in her family's wagon, Texas was experiencing Civil War reconstruction, and Tejanos were part of the landscape, and the immigration movement from Mexico and further south had already begun. Think of this part of Texas as an Ellis Island area. Settlers came from Britain, Czechoslovakia, Germany, and Poland. Barn dances featured music from these countries to include polkas, waltzes, square dances, and Mexican norteño music. Remember, many people traveling through here during this time weren't migrating. This land was theirs, and had been theirs long before the gringos showed up. After all, archaeologists tell us that people inhabited this part of the world for thousands of years before it was being settled by so many people in the late 1800s. And African Americans were definitely part of that landscape. Texas fought the Civil War with the South. On the Edwards Plateau, Lily Dale Cox met and fell in love with the owner of one of the largest ranches in Texas, Jesse Edwards Thurman. She was 14 years old and still playing with dolls when he rode to town in a pretty little pony branded ICU and began to buy and sell cattle and Angora goats. He remembered in the area as the man who introduced goat ranching to this part of Texas. Stories relate how she told people when she first saw him that she was going to marry him, and she did. She married Jesse, she and Jesse married on December the 24th, 1890, when she was just 16. After the wedding, Lily Dale mounted her horse, LD, and Jesse mounted his horse, ICU, and they rode off to his ranch, their new home, on horseback. They began their life together on that day on the banks of the Kickapoo Creek. They made their homestead in a spot that was about halfway between Brackettville and Rock Springs on what would eventually become Route 674. The road when they settled was dirt, little more than a wagon trail. It wasn't even paved until the 1950s. So before then, when the rains came, it would be impassable for days at a time until the mud dried. And when there was no mud, there was dust, lots of dust. And at that time and in that place, in Texas, the nearest doctor was 34 miles away. That amounted to more than a 2-day ride on horseback. So people didn't usually die natural deaths then. Certainly they didn't die of old age. Instead, gunshot wounds, rattlesnake bites, and falls claimed their lives. As they set up their home, water for the next day was hauled to the house in the evening from the nearby Kickapoo Creek. Clothes were washed on a board in the same nearby water source. When Lily Dale wanted to kill flies, she spread molasses on a board and squashed them as they landed on the wood. Jesse was always wanting the next new thing that came along, so Lily Dale soon had a plank house with dirt floors in the kitchen and plank floors in the living room. Eventually, electric lights replaced the grease lamps that she used as a newlywed. Hers was one of the first houses in the area to get a phone. When washing machines became a reality, Clothes were no longer hauled down to the nearby Kickapoo Creek. And finally, a newly invented automobile replaced the wagon they used. Out on the ranch, horses were saddled up every morning and guns were everywhere. My grandmother, all 80 pounds of her, was a sharpshooter and stored a rifle in the bathroom of her home when they got indoor plumbing. Lily Dale raised 9 children out on that ranch. She taught them about birth, life, and death. She could have written a book on living a life with abundance and scarcity. Her experiences with birth and death and rebirth gave her an intimate knowledge of joy and grief. Her life skills included healing with herbs for humans and animals. She doused as if it weren't a mystery. Her life required her to use both her hands and her heart. So her life-changing rituals, if you are trying to see yourself as a Queen of Wands, you learn very early to live by your own standards. And you have to have a little luxury for self-care. And even in those days, I am sure that Lily Dale, for one thing, her husband saw to it that with, washing machines and things, that life did get easier. And be happy with the beautiful things that make you you. So she knew what made her her. And I have a meditation for her. Go into your quiet space now and settle in as you sit in a comfortable and safe space. You feel protected here. Protected in this quiet space where you are taking a few moments of calm. Take a deep breath now, slowly. Now take another deep breath. As you inhale, you feel your body begin to relax. It is time to let go of your tensions, both built up and fresh. Close your eyes so that the stress can drain out of them. Your eyelids and the facial tissue around your eyes, so close your eyes. As you inhale, bring in relaxation into your body. As you exhale, release negativity, stress, toxins. Let them all just leave your body. As relaxation spreads throughout your body, allow each muscle to relax more and more. Just let go and be comfortable. Open your eyes now and see that you are sitting alongside the edge of a stream. You see the leaves making a canopy over the stream, and you see the shadows of the leaves on the water. You hear the water as it swiftly flows in places over rocks. Rocks are singing. The breeze is soft on your face and arms as you sit by the water. You smell the summer around you. As you watch the water and feel the summer air around you, step into the water. You're standing in a pool of gently swirling water. You see, amid the swirls, there is a quiet time when the water drifts and slowly washes down the stream bed. As you experience the drifting and washing water, you notice a few leaves floating down the riverbed. You notice how comfortable you have become in this experience along the creek. It is time to shift into the here and now, to your outside day. Return to this place and time relaxed and grateful for your experience. And thank you so much. I think we're running out of time. So I'm going to say that we have another guest planned for next week. After our experiences, we are happy to return to this studio, and I look forward to you visiting with me on YouTube as you are able to learn some more activities of the Woodstock, because this is the Woodstock show. And thank you again, and thank you so much, Ellen. This is great. Thank you. This is wonderful. That's okay. We can't do the last queen. There's not enough time. So we will just have to say thank you very much.